Welcome. This is a demo of using ChatGPT to do technical interviews. Specifically, we are going to do a DevOps technical interview. So this is the voice prompt that you would use. You do use the voice mode for this. Hi, I want you to conduct a DevOps technical interview with me. I want you to give me 5 questions, starting easy and getting increasingly more difficult. The flow is I want you to ask the question and then listen for my full response. After I give my response, give me a grade 0 through 10 and review my response. And then go ahead and give me the correct answer, what you would say would be a 10 out of 10, and then move on to the next question. I'm not going to answer this question perfectly. I'm going to be a little vague.
Things off with an easier question and gradually raise the difficulty level. Question 1, easy. Can you explain what infrastructure as code IAC is and why it is important in DevOps practices? Feel free to take your time with your response.
Yeah, infrastructure as code. That is the concept of taking, say, we're going to just use cloud, like cloud architecture builds, and automating that via code. So you would use something like Terraform, and you can use Terraform to basically take your manual steps of, say, we're going to use the example of spinning up an AWS EC2 instance. All the steps that you would manually take in your AWS console in the GUI, you would do that as code. And you can actually run that code locally using your terminal and your AWS credentials and build that EC2 instance with just one press of a button, just by running that code rather than having to manually do that. And this can be used for various things, but one of them is, say, for example, you have an auto scaling group set up to spin up and spin down EC2 instances based on demand, say, for an application in production. And so you would use Terraform to build and destroy those that infrastructure as needed.
Great job explaining the concept of infrastructure as code and providing an example. Here's your grade and feedback. Grade 810. What you did well. You gave a solid and practical example using AWS and Terraform, which is spot on for describing ISC. You highlighted the automation and repeatability aspect, which is crucial. What could be improved? You could have emphasized version control and how IAC ensures consistency across environments, dev, staging, production. Mentioning other IAC tools such as AWS CloudFormation or Ansible to show awareness of different options could make your answer more robust. Answer. Infrastructure as code IAC is the practice of managing and provisioning computing infrastructure through machine-readable configuration files rather than through physical hardware configuration or interactive configuration tools. IAC allows teams to automate the deployment and management of infrastructure, ensuring consistency and reducing human error. By codifying infrastructure, you can version control the infrastructure in the same way as application code, allowing for easier collaboration, rollback, and auditing of changes. Tools like Terraform, AWS CloudFormation, and Ansible are commonly used for IAC. With IAC, environments like dev, staging, and production can be made identical, leading to more reliable and predictable deployments. Ready for the next one?
Yeah.
Question 2, intermediate. Can you explain how CI/CD pipelines improve the software development lifecycle and how they integrate into a DevOps workflow?
All right, so you can see that it will continue to ask your questions. And you can do this again for any kind of interview. You would just say, I want you to conduct a software developer's interview, and you can give as much specifics as you want. Obviously, you can change the amount of questions. You can have it ask continuous questions, and it will. You can play with it as much as you want. I hope this is helpful. And if you have any questions, reach out for tips and tricks. I'll get you set up.